This is April Winchester from J Bell Creations, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I'm a mess. I just got out of the shower. And I'm going to do a quick video because I haven't done one for a while and I keep meaning to, but life's been nuts. But I have a video today for you, tonight, right now. So hopefully it'll be fairly fast. So let me go ahead and turn this around and face you where I need to face you. And it looks like it should be okay, hopefully. All right, so first, before I start a card, I'm going to start doing something new to my own channel / Facebook. And that is, I'm going to do giveaways for lives. So if you share my live and let me know on my live that you shared it, your name will be put into a drawing, and at the end of the month, whatever month that we happen to be in, I will draw names and you'll get whatever prize I happen to have. So this one's actually going to be drawn in just a couple days because September's almost over. But this one is going to be 5 cards that I've made. You'll get 5 free cards if your name is drawn, if you share my video. So hopefully you can see this. I can't tell what you can see and what you can't see because my camera is different than usual. So here's a card, a card, a card, a card, and a card. So these 5 cards plus envelopes will be mailed to whoever name is drawn for sharing my video. So please share. That helps me, and it gives you the opportunity to earn something for to get something for free, possibly. All right, so card that I'm going to do today is pretty quick and simple. We're going to start with a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock that's 5.5 by 4 1/4. I'm going to fold it in half to make my card base. And because of the way my phone has to be for this to not be backwards, for you to see it, I can't see if anybody is on. So hi, I apologize if I don't respond to something you say. I'm gonna have to find another setup so that I can also see people who might be on watching or talking. But for now, I don't have that because I didn't realize that Facebook is kind of opposite of like YouTube or even your own video taking. You have to have your camera facing outward, like down. I don't know how to explain it, but it's weird. Anyway, so I have my card base in pumpkin pie, and then I got this piece of really nice gray textured looking DSP from the In Good Taste DSP in the catalog. The other side looks like this, kind of like tiles or bricks, maybe like a bathroom. I'm not sure, but I'm going to use this gray side. This is cut at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and I'm going to run it through my Big Shot real quick using the Brick and Mortar embossing folder. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but it literally looks like bricks. So I'm going to put my piece in here. I want my card to be this way, and so I want my bricks to face this way, like a brick wall. So I'm gonna put this in. And give me just a second as I slide this through my Big Shot real quick. If I can get it to go through. I keep having problems with it for some reason. All right, let's try it this way. There we go. All right. A little bit crooked because of the way my Big Shot was running. Which is too bad because I prefer it to be straight. But that's okay. It's handmade. Things happen, right? All right, so I've run it through. I'm going to use my adhesive, which I happen to be using Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to adhere this to my card base. And because it's a little bit textured, I'm going to give it a little bit of extra adhesive to make sure that it stays on and stays down. I'm going to give it just a tiny little border all the way around. And it's definitely crooked, but again, it's handmade and I have a better one. So this is just for the point of showing. I have to figure out what's going on with that Big Shot at some point here so that I don't keep having this problem. All right, so I then have I had some scraps of pumpkin pie and gray granite. No, basic gray, sorry. Basic gray and pumpkin pie cardstock. I cut 2 pieces, one from each color, that looks like this, from the Tasteful Labels dies. Die looks like this. My hands are already inky because I've been stamping. So I got 2 of those, and I'm going to take the gray one. And typically I actually stamp first and then die cut to make sure that the image is straight. But I didn't really think of that when I decided to die cut. I thought, oh, I'll die cut so that I have it already ready and I don't have to do that on the live. But probably should have, because I don't know how straight this will be. But we're going to try it anyways. So I inked up, oh, let me show you. Sorry. I inked up this bird in a cage, like a crow in a cage, from the Ghoulish Goodies stamp set. And I'm going to stamp it on this basic gray. And I inked it up in Memento black ink. And of course, it's been that kind of day that I would make yet another mistake. It's not too bad. It's a little off center, but not bad. But I did get a little bit of black mark where I didn't want it. So I'm just going to use my sand eraser to try to get some of that off. All right. Did leave some mark on my paper, but that's all right. All right. Then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it to this piece, leaving kind of like it's like the orange pumpkin pie piece is kind of like a shadow. That's what I want it to look like, just so like it kind of has a shadow. So I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal to this piece. I'm going to add my gray granite piece. Sorry, I keep saying that. This basic gray. I wanted to use gray granite and then decided it was a little too light for what I wanted. So I'm just gonna kind of line it up a little bit here so it looks kind of like a shadow. I'm then going to put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this. I like to pop up things, especially something that might be like the focal point, which this is. And I'm going to set that aside for a minute because now I want to use my black organdy glittered organdy ribbon, and it's black. I'm going to take a small amount of this and just kind of make like a little zigzag, like there. Then I'm going to see if that kind of fits well behind where I want it to be. I want it to be behind this piece. So I'm going to take a little piece of the Stampin' Seal, just give myself, it's that kind of day. We actually had a really busy day today, and I'm pretty tired. So at least I'm talking normal and not talking in gibberish. At least so far I don't think I am. Although that wouldn't be necessarily abnormal for me either. Alright, I like where that is, but I do want this end to be a little bit more at an angle. So that's glued there. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the backs off my dimensionals. And I'm going to set that here in the middle. There. The brick's really bothering me that it's that crooked. But this isn't a card that's got plans to go anywhere. So, you know, I don't know. I guess you could have a slanted brick wall. All right, I have another piece of pumpkin pie, and this one I'm going to use, again, from the Ghoulish Goodies stamp set. I'm going to use the one that says, "To a frightfully good friend." I'm going to stamp it in my Memento Black. Hopefully my head's not in the way. All right, and then what I'm going to do is die cut this with a small piece from the Tasteful Label dies. I'm cleaning my stamps off real quick though. I don't really like to leave them. I usually do it as I go. All right, so the piece that I'm going to use is this stitched flag. And I'm just going to try to line that up really carefully. It's it barely fits. Really, it barely fits. That should be pretty good. Right there. Run it through my Big Shot real quick. Big Shot is just a die cutting machine. There's lots of different die cutting machines. And I pop it out, and there it is. You see, it's quite small. It really just fits. But what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to kind of tuck it under, and I'm going to glue it like this. And I just want it to look almost like it's like a tag, like I'm giving this as a gift or something. I don't know, I just thought it looked cute like that, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal. Going to tuck it under here a little bit. And my card is almost complete. So typically I stamp on the inside and put a white piece or something that is light in color in here. But right now I'm going to leave it because I'm not sure if I'm going to actually even do anything with this card. So I'm just going to leave it as is. But I am going to do my final touch with, which is I take a black Stampin' Write marker, and I'm going to use the brush end. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've only ever done this once before, but I love how it looks when other people do it. So I decided that I'm going to try it, and as you can probably see, I have already tried it. So I'm going to take the edge of my stamp block, which is pretty sharp. Not all stamp blocks are sharp, just this particular one. Take the brush end, and I'm going to flick it to try to get some black spots on here. But again, I haven't done this very many times before, so I'm not sure how this is going to work out. And I have some, not as much as I was hoping for, but I do have some. I think I really need to practice and know like where I'm flicking in relation to the card. But I do have some, and I like how it looks. Oh, maybe that's working a little bit better. I don't know. Or not. I don't know. I've got a ton on my block. It's not really helpful. It's, oh, hey, that might be better. Oh, I figured it out. All right, you just have to flick it harder than I expected. Like a lot harder than I expected. So now you should be able to see those black specks from me flicking that black marker. I'm just gonna wipe this off now. So that is my card for tonight. It's just a little fun Halloween card. I like Halloween. My husband loves Halloween. I used to love it. I still like it, but it's not my favorite anymore. But I have some friends that absolutely adore Halloween, and I've been thinking of them lately when I've been thinking of what I could make for some cards and projects. So yeah, this is the card. All right, so just a reminder. Oh, actually, let me show you my original one. Doesn't have as much black splotches on it, but it's straighter, and I think it looks better. But either way, I still like the way it came out. And I'm just gonna remind you, especially if you weren't here at the beginning, that I'm going to do some monthly drawings, and this month, if you share my live, your name will be put into a drawing, and if your name is chosen, you will get these 5. Oh, wrong ones. Sorry, not those ones. You will get these 5 cards plus the envelopes for them. I will mail them to you if your name is drawn. So I really appreciate it if you would share, and thanks for joining me. I'm really hoping to start getting back to doing that once a week. Usually Sundays are the easiest day for me. I hope everyone has a great night. Bye.